Hey everyone, welcome back to Carrie's Thrifty Farmhouse. If you're new here, I'm Carrie and I love creating high-end farmhouse decor on a budget. Today I'm showing you 3 paint techniques you need to learn to help you get the perfect farmhouse look. These are easy ways to add texture to home decor items to make them look aged and weathered, and it's just paint, so no messy sandpaper or fancy tools. For my first project today, I'm showing you how to dry brush home decor to give it a distressed look. I started with this small square picture from Dollar Tree, and I'm giving it a base coat of chalk paint. I like Waverly chalk paint, which is a very affordable brand from Walmart, and I'm using the Plaster color today. So authentic farmhouse decor has aged over time and has scuffs to the paint, so that's what I'm going to mimic by dry brushing. This technique is super easy, but probably the most important thing is the type of brush you use. I used my oldest brush that maybe went a little too long without cleaning, so it has bits of old paint stuck to it and the bristles are really uneven. If you don't have an old brush like this, Dollar Tree has some brushes that they call chunky brushes that would work as well. So the term dry brushing just means that you aren't dipping the brush all the way into the paint to saturate it. You really only need a few drops of paint, so I like to use the lid of the paint container to avoid accidentally getting too much on the brush. I also dab it on a paper a few times before lightly brushing onto the picture. I move the brush in the same direction back and forth across the surface, so it almost looks like it was sanded and the wood grain is showing through. I'm using the color Mineral, which is by the Waverly brand as well, and is the perfect shade of taupe. You can do as much or as little distressing as you want to achieve your desired look. I like it to look weathered, but not like the paint is chipping off. This is the perfect base for lots of different things and can be translated even to much larger projects like my Hello Spring sign I made a few weeks ago for my mantle. Today, however, I'm just adding a letter H and making a small monogram sign. I traced the letter straight from my phone, and then I'm using my favorite Arteza carbon paper to transfer it to the sign. This base is also super versatile and looks great with lots of different colors. I've used black, green, red, and I think gold writing, which all look really nice, but today I'm using a dark gray Crayola Twistable from my boys' school supply stash. I really like the way it lays down the color. Because of the natural texture to the painted surface, it lays the color down a little bit unevenly, so it almost looks like it was distressed as well. And here it is on my kitchen counter. I love how this technique gives the distressed look without the mess of sanding. It's one of my favorite methods for achieving that rustic farmhouse look. My next project is another home decor makeover using paint. I'm taking a thrifted, mass-produced vase and painting it to look like real pottery. This vase was originally marked $4.94, but you guys know I always like to go to Volunteers of America on a half-off day, so I got it for just under $2.50. I'm giving it a good base coat of the color Mineral, which is the same color we used for the distressing in the previous project. Next, I'm using my dry brush method again, but this time the lighter color is going on top. This is the Plaster color by Waverly, which is the off-white color we used for the base in the last project. These two colors are really complementary, so I use them in a lot of my projects. I'm using the paint lid again, dipping the brush ever so slightly into the paint, dabbing most of it off, and then lightly brushing onto the vase in a side-to-side motion. Then I take a baby wipe and rub back and forth over the paint. This leaves some of the stroke lines, but blends the white into the base color, creating the look of pottery. A few weeks ago, I used this same method on a thrifted fondue pot that I used as a succulent planter. I used pink Himalayan bath salts from Dollar Tree as filler, and I was so in love with that project. It's actually still on my coffee table, so click the link above if you're interested in seeing how that turned out. Next, I'm using the dry brush to add some dark gray to the piece. I'm using the Elephant color by Waverly, and I'm adding it more sparingly around the container, just enough to give it a little extra dimension. I'm following the brush very closely with the wipe, and I'm using the same wipe that still has a little bit of that white paint on it. This is also that the paint is perfectly blended for that authentic pottery look. And here it is on my counter. I added some spiky green stems, but this could seriously stand alone on a shelf display. It's the perfect neutral color to fit in with any decor, but this same technique could be used with a lot of different color variations, so run with it and make it your own. For my third project today, I'm showing you how to sponge paint decor and how I took this plastic pitcher and used paint to give it a galvanized finish. If you've been with my channel from the beginning, you know I love mixing the galvanized look with natural materials, so I've shown this technique a few times before. I think my favorite was the woodland gnome that I gave a galvanized hat, which was so cute, or maybe I should say handsome. Anyway, here I'm giving the pitcher a base coat of the elephant color. Just one coat is enough since we're layering on many different colors in this technique. It's okay if some of the plastic shows through a little. Once the paint was dry, I used a dry sponge to add on a metallic silver color. I love Martha Stewart's metallic paint. It has a great pigment and a little goes a long way. Similar to the dry brush technique, I dip the sponge lightly in the paint, blot it on a paper a few times, and then begin pouncing it onto the pitcher. Since there's holes in the sponge, it allows there to be places where the darker gray still shows through, which is perfect to achieve the galvanized look we're going for. The next color is a graphite gray color. Here I'm using the Apple Barrel brand, which is super affordable, only about 50 cents at Walmart. The color's the same tone as the silver color, but it has a matte finish, so the pitcher is taking on even more of an aged look. Finally, I'm using a nutmeg brown color and adding it sparingly around the pitcher to give it a slightly rusted look. I'm concentrating on areas that would see the most wear, like around the rim, the spout, and the handle. And then I dab it on here and there around the whole container to give it a little bit of that weathered look. One thing I like about using these sponges is that cleanup is easy. I just slice off the painted end so I can keep using the same sponge over and over. This is another great addition to my kitchen decor. I added some stems that look like forsythia, which is perfect for spring. The best part is that this is a real container, so it could be used for real flowers as well. So there you have it, 3 fun paint techniques for home decor which will help you get that perfect farmhouse look. And if you enjoyed this video, I would love for you to stick around and subscribe. It really helps support my channel so I can bring you even more budget DIYs. And don't forget to hit the notification bell so you can stay up to date with my content. I have lots more budget DIYs headed your way this spring, so stay tuned for those. See you next time. Bye!